If you're looking to buy Madden 22 coins, head over to MMOEXP.com for the fastest, cheapest, and safest coins in the market. Click the link down in the description and be sure to use code Throne for 5% off and upgrade your team today. All right, guys. So first, my apologies on not getting this video out to you guys sooner. I should have gotten it out a few days ago at least, definitely before Weekend League. I'm sorry you guys played it without hearing my thoughts on the new AP updates. This video is going to be about the AP update, ability point update. They do it a few times throughout the year in MUT, and normally some pretty big changes. And we definitely got some really drastic changes. It definitely changed my abilities on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And yeah, today I'm going to talk about that. It's a little bit different than a normal video. Normally we talk through our gameplay. Instead, we're going to talk about the update to MUT, the AP update that we just had. So first off, I'm sure you guys are familiar. It was previously 12 AP. They raised it to 14 on both sides of the ball. So as we can see right here, active superstars, 14 AP, and it's going to be the same thing on defense. To be honest, it would have been really great to see them just raise it on defense, since the game is obviously so lopsided in terms of offense being way easier than defense right now. I wish they would have just raised it on defense and kept it the same on offense, or maybe even lowered it to 10 or something like that. But it makes more sense. It's simpler to go 14 and 14 to stay the same value for each of them. Now, they did change some abilities that certain archetypes of players can get. That stuff I'm not certain, or like really concerned with, other than one of them was a big change. And then they of course changed whether it be raised or lowered the individual quantities of AP for certain abilities to, basically or essentially buff or nerf particular abilities. And we're going to talk about all those today. We're going to go through all of them. Then I'm going to show you guys the abilities that I'm going to be rocking and some other really good abilities that I would suggest to you guys. So first off, QBs. I did pass elite to improviser scrambler QBs at certain spots and change the AP for the certain archetypes. Not something that particularly concerns me. I'm a big gunslinger guy. Love gunslinger, and I don't think I'll be using any QBs that don't have gunslinger for the rest of the year. They also added human joystick to QBs. If that interests you, cool. I'm assuming maybe they just added it. They didn't lower it. Then they lowered the overall for human joystick on scrambler QBs, and they gave spin cycle jukebox to improviser QBs. This stuff's just not that important. The last one, however, huge change. Inside Deadeye increased to 5 AP for field general and strong arm QBs. Guys, Inside Deadeye was previously 1 AP. If you guys aren't familiar with Inside Deadeye, perfect pass accuracy inside the numbers. No, it was glitched. Worked for basically every single ball, whether it was off your back foot, crossbody, on the run, set still, in the pocket, out of the pocket, to wherever. It's been glitched. It would have been nice to see them actually fix the ability rather than, just nerf it by increasing the AP. But clearly they can't find a fix for it, so they increase it to 5, which basically makes it unusable. I would not recommend using Inside Deadeye. There is an ability that I use instead now that I will be talking about after we talk about these updates, when I show you guys my abilities that I have on my Josh Allen that I think is at least a decent replacement. It's not the exact same, it's not as good, but it's definitely serviceable. It makes Josh Allen a lot better at throwing on the run. So that's it for QBs. Next up, halfbacks. None of this stuff important really to me, at least till the last one. Lowered grab and go, lowered tank, lowered human joystick. Don't use any of them. I don't think I see anybody using any of them. Human joystick could end up being a thing that people use when the time comes. I don't even know what the AP it is for it. But they also lowered AP from 2 to 1 on running back apprentice for all halfbacks. This was a change that makes a lot of sense. So if you guys are familiar, for receiving backs, the past 2 years, receiving backs have gotten backfield master for 1 AP, which gives you all the hot routes and better catching. And even on that particular player, like the receiving halfbacks, running back apprentice was 2 AP. So for just the hot routes without the extra catching. So that was just a totally flawed. Logically, it's obviously flawed. So they also changed the other receiving backs to get it for cheaper, which I think is really nice. It does still incentivize you to have a receiving back. You'll get the extra catching and I think extra route running. It does light up on routes when you have backfield master, but you can still get running back apprentice on most other halfbacks then for only 1 AP, which is really nice. I think this is a really good change. Anything with hot routes for the most part, I think is, or making hot routes easier for people to get, I typically think is a good change. So next up, wide receiver, O-line, short and elite, mid and elite, now 2 AP across the board for wide receivers and tight ends. This one was painful. It was sad. I was going to actually switch away from Waller. I was going to switch away from my vertical threat to possession tight end to get short and elite for 1 AP. It's 2 now, which really stinks. And then I also had short and elite on one of my wide receivers. If you guys don't know, basically any route inside, I'd say inside the hashes, really any slot route. Didn't even have to, yeah, that was the in part of it. Whether it be short or long or whatever, it lit up on certain things. It pretty much lit up on every route out of the slot, and you would get better catching on short routes if they were, you know, inside, if they were from the slot, whatever. Anyway, it's a really good ability, and they nerfed it. They've made it 2 AP, which is probably understandable. That ability is probably a little bit too good, but that definitely affected my team because I was using 2 short and elites. So they also increased post up to 2 AP for all positions. Don't love this. I don't love the idea of making an O-line chem 2 AP that like just prevents defenders splitting double teams, when for the past couple years just defenders just rip through like if they're on a left guard and a center, they'll rip through it faster than if they were on a single team. Like it would have been nice to see them keep post up 1 AP. The only thing I would say is it does work in the run game as well. So it is a powerful ability, and I still think it actually is probably worth it for 2 AP in a lot of circumstances, depending on how you play. They also lowered honorary linemen for blocking tight ends to 2 AP. Sure, dude, if that's what you want, go for it. That's a big change to you. You're at the wrong channel, all right? Next up, defense. Lowered lurker unlock for linebackers. This is an awesome one. So it's 90 overall for field generals and pass coverage. This is both for outside linebackers and middle linebackers. Also unlocks, or it's unlocked at 90, and then they also unlock lurker at 91 overall for run stoppers. This is really awesome. So I will take a second just to show you guys here. My team, I have Ted Hendricks and Derek Johnson, and they both get lurker for 1 AP. So now I can actually put them in coverage, which is excellent. They will put their hands up. Lurker, if you guys don't know, lurker works regardless of whether you're using the defender or not. You don't even have to necessarily be lurking on them. You can click onto them during the play, and they will still end up getting those, you know, DB animations. And I haven't seen it yet without clicking on, but I'm assuming if it's anything like the past 2 years, they will still be able to reach their hands up even if you don't click on. But that could be totally wrong. The biggest issue, you know, I do try to click onto everything. It's just the biggest issue. Sometimes the click-ons are really bad in this game, but they were really good this weekend. I finished my weekend league. The lurkers were awesome. Loved it. Love that change. That needs to be that should have been the way the game was to start the year. They need to make or incentivize us a little bit more to use linebackers. But then they lowered edge threat to 2 AP. Pretty sure this is a miserable one for people on current gen or old gen. I'm pretty sure edge threat's still like god tier. It's okay on next gen, especially if it's from a, you know, an outside linebacker DM that's standing up. I've seen edge threat to have some success, even on all pro. They're pretty good on all Madden, but still some success on all pro. Lowering it for both generations is a questionable decision, but they lowered it. They lowered double or nothing from 4 to 3. Nobody's using doubles. I've heard some people that play all Madden are now using doubles. Still really expensive, and doubles and El Toros and even edge threats have never been as good on all pro as they have been on all Madden. Just for the record, guys, I wouldn't recommend using any D-line abilities still. Maybe there are some that are, I would say, like, it's okay if you have, but I wouldn't recommend either of those, I should say. Then DT, they lowered inside stuff to 1 AP on run stopper DTs. This is a decent change. There are some run stopper DTs and inside stuff's okay. I actually took it off this weekend. I didn't really notice it helping me at all, even against inside zone or halfback dives. But I do notice when I face an opponent that has it, there seems to do a really good job. I feel like it actually kind of bothers me. I definitely have to double team at every play. And even when I do, makes the gaps a little bit easier to shoot. So I like that change. I'm all for making run stopping chems lower. Do I have one more? No, I don't. That was it for the patch. So I'm going to talk about my abilities. I think when I got to my abilities, I'm pretty sure it was at 14. Well, when I replaced Inside Deadeye. So let's go through them first off. So Josh, actually, no, let's go this way. Go right here. Start with Josh Allen, guys. So they got rid of Inside Deadeye, basically made it 5 AP. I am now using Roaming Deadeye for 1 AP. Perfect pass accuracy while standing outside of the pocket. Basically, anytime I'm going to throw a ball on the run outside the pocket, I let go of right trigger, and it will consider it standing outside the pocket most of the time, and you'll get an accurate Deadeye ball. Similar to years past, Roaming Deadeye is still very good. Gunslinger 4 AP, faster throwing animations and velocity on bullet passes. Guys, Gunslinger is so good. Like, you need to be using Gunslinger. I don't know if I could use Marino without Gunslinger. Marino had a bad throw on the run too, but like Gunslinger's really good, and I'm spending 4 AP on it, so 5 AP total on Josh Allen right now, and I'm definitely going to have those two abilities for a long time on my QB. Next up, red zone threat. Should I even talk about it? Like, I don't know if I want to. I love red zone threat. It's an ultimate bailout. It's 1 AP. I actually spend it on a guy that doesn't even start for me. I sub Calvin when I get down to the red zone. Next up, route tech on Jerry Rice. To be totally honest, actually, I'll probably just go through my necessary abilities here. Tight end apprentice, 2 AP on Darren Waller, and then slot apprentice on TJ Hushmanzada. So I would say I kind of have this 5, this 2, and then 1 right here tied up. So it's like 8 AP. Basically, I have 6 free AP to spend. It's 14 now. I do spend on red zone threat, as I mentioned. And then after that, I'm kind of looking for route running abilities, which is route tech, 2 AP on Jerry Rice. I am using Slot-O-Matic on TJ Hushmanzada. I've considered switching to route tech on Ryzen and then using Ryzen in my slot, but I also put another slot apprentice on Ryzen. So I have 2 slot apprentices actually right now. There were a couple times I used it this past weekend league. I'm just not used to it. It's a little bit rare that at least I'm not used to having a second slot apprentice. I don't even know what routes to call, like when I should have a cross or corner on the same play. But I've been figuring it out. I did find a couple things that I liked, especially in longer yardage situations. Having that second slot apprentice is kind of nice. For the most part, what I'm saying is I'm kind of looking for things to spend. So other abilities that I think are really good, backfield mismatch on your running back, I think is really good because I don't really use table routes or Texas routes. It's going to give you better route running and catching versus linebackers out of the backfield. Backfield mismatch is really good. Also backfield master, as we talked about, or even running back apprentice, very good as well. Post-ups are really decent. I've seen some people using edge threats. That's mostly all Madden, though. I don't really see much short and elite anymore, which is probably rightfully so. When for route runners, you can get route tech for 2 AP, which route tech is so good. Route tech just torches people. I'm not sure what other abilities I would use. That's probably about it. I guess if you had like a Dan Marino, conductor is really good. Pass lead elite still okay. Escape artist is really good if you prefer that type of play style. But yeah, with the way I play, I don't use an escape artist QB, but I do kind of play like I have one, and I like gunslinger and roaming on my QB. But yeah, that's how I spend my 14 on offense. And if I talked a lot this video, guys, I apologize. But like, isn't the video about my abilities and the changes, what I think about the changes? Anyway, 14 AP on defense. Not much changed here, guys. I think it's going to be 6 acros, almost 6 acros. No, it's not, 5. So we went acro on Cam, acro on Mike Haynes, acrobat on Sean Taylor, acrobat on Jack Tatum, acrobat on Daddy Diablo. So that's 12 AP tied up in acrobat. Acrobat is really, really good. I highly recommend it on your users. I highly recommend it on your corners. At safety, they sometimes do screw up. Like it'll kind of hurt you some of the time, but they still will also play some crazy balls that they wouldn't have without acrobat. I prefer it personally, and I'm willing to spend the 2 AP on acrobat for my safeties. Absolutely love acrobat this year. It's probably the one like just consistent. It's not a consistent ability, but it's consistently good, I should say. Like it's just the best deal for you, no matter whether you're running man or zone or whatever defense you're running. Acrobat's so good. You can get it on any position for 2 AP. So you guys also see 0 AP on Out My Way for Cam Chancellor. For some reason, in the second to last upgrade and then the final upgrade, like the fully upgraded Cam, that second to last slot has Out My Way for 0 AP. It's supposed to like incentivize you to grind for Mutt Master. So I have Out My Way on him for 0 AP. I actually didn't notice it do anything this past weekend. I probably didn't put him in any positions to blow up stuff, to blow up runs, but I have it on him and I have it activated. I would highly recommend you guys activate it as well. You might as well. And then lastly, I'm sure you could have guessed where my last 2 AP are. Lurkers, which we talked about. Derek Johnson and this brand new Ted Hendricks. 1 AP on each. And they're so good. I wish I could super easily. I thought I had a couple examples of these dudes going crazy. Yeah. All right. So there's an example of me clicking on to Derek Johnson and him actually animated kind of like a DB, even though he's obviously a linebacker and he was outside linebacker and 3-3-5 wide, just with lurker. You know, you click on, you're able to actually animate, which is awesome. Makes them, 20 times better playing the flats, and it actually makes it viable to run the playbooks that, just have 3-3-5 wide, that you're not audibling too wide from 2-4-5 odd, 3-3-5 odd, 3-3-5 normal, and trying to get safeties at those outside linebacker spots. But yeah, that's how I'm spending my 14 AP. I guess on defense, what else is good? Deep route KO I've seen is pretty good. Mid zone KO on zone archetype, whether it be safeties or corners, is really, really good. It lights up on a lot of things. They react better and they knock out the ball really frequently. They can be really, really annoying to play against. Talked about how inside stuff's okay. I would highly recommend using it on a run stopper if you do. If you do use it. Unpredictable is probably my favorite pass rush chem on all pro. It's okay. I personally don't use any pass rush chems on my guys. These three right here, I just kind of let them just fight. Charles Haley, Myles Garrett, and Harold Landry. I just kind of send three and just pray to God that they're shed. I don't have any abilities on them. But what else is good? I thought there were a couple more. People have talked about pick artist. I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't spend on pick artist. I don't see a reason to throw 6 pick artists out there for 6 AP, or maybe even more. It just doesn't make sense. People say that it actually helps you catch your picks. I've seen pick artists drop picks, so I personally wouldn't do it. That's probably it for abilities on defense. It is. And then, of course, now with special teams, the brand new Justin Tucker does get focused kicker. So if that's your speed, go get him. I will not be using focused kicker for the entirety of the year. Guys, I hope this video did end up helping you out with your team choice, with your ability choice, and hopefully it was a little bit informative. If you weren't familiar with the AP update, that is exactly what they changed. If you do want to see more type of content like this, please let me know. Please let me know with the comment. And of course, if you're new and you enjoy what you see, consider hitting the subscribe button. It's free. You can always unsub at any time. Dude, I'm exhausted. It's 10 a.m. I've been up all night. I'm screwing up my words like crazy, but I do appreciate you guys sticking with me to the end of this. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.